Jarosz, and Phil is a tech integrator at Kenton Central Schools, or Union Free School District. And Ken was part of the winning team for the first annual hackathon. And Phil, tell us about the process of the hackathon and what you went through.
Well, I sort of came as an observer at first and sat back. We started the hackathon by going to the Maker Faire here in Rochester, which was really exciting to see what different projects people have been working on. And then we sat down and people who had ideas or pitches, pitched them to the group, sort of without judgment. And as a group, we sort of discussed which ideas we sort of were drawn and combined some ideas together. And then people started to gravitate towards different groups. And so a group of 3 of us got together and worked on what became Make Blocks.
So tell us about your team, and then we'll talk about a little bit about your project.
So there's 3 of us. There's Jeff, Jaclyn, and I who worked on the project. We all come from schools where we do some sort of tech integration together. Jeff, whose idea it was to start the whole process, this maker space sort of supply cart-ish came out of his brain to start. And we were able to jump onto that idea and add our own thoughts about what would make life easier for maker spaces in schools.
So what were some of the, I guess, positives and some of the challenges that you faced working with the team on, a new product?
So I think in working through the design process, I think you begin to realize what might be possible down the road if the product takes off and what is needed now to get backing and funding. So I think working through that process is really exciting and informative as a teacher who would help students through the same process in terms of not just a presentation, but making a convincing argument to a set of people who are interested perhaps in backing your company, just in terms of thinking about what their needs will be and what basic needs do we need to meet right now for the user in order to get people interested in it and then build a product from there.
So here's maybe the toughest question. What did you learn about yourself through this process?
I think that it's a good question.
It is, isn't it?
I think that I sort of really did, maybe for the first time, in working with someone else, like Jeff was very much, this very much came out of his head and very much owned the project for sure. And just in terms of like being able to take the back seat and saying, hey, like, let me just take this part from you, and being willing to not be the person who's at the front all the time and maybe pushing the project along, but letting someone else take the lead and see more of their vision through, and then helping with the other aspects of it. Certainly a lot of the presentation work was mine. We worked on the logo together, just coming up with an idea and a vision for what it would look like, because I think that for as much as the idea is important, the presentation was a very important piece, and I think that I really brought to the table that idea of the user interface and the idea behind the presentation and what that pitch was finally going to look like in the end on Sunday.
Okay, and last question, do you think you'll bring some of this into your school?
I think that this is a great idea. I've thought for a while about doing a hackathon with students who are interested in coding. We don't do a lot of coding in terms of teaching, but I know we have students who do it in their own lives. So bringing it into the school environment, I think, would be something very exciting. But it doesn't even have to be necessarily computer related. I just think that the whole idea of this startup hackathon idea where, within a short span of time, students have to present a finished project is something that's really exciting. We do it already in our theater program. We do 24-hour plays where students basically do the same thing except in the arts.
Great. Thanks, Phil, and congratulations.
Thanks.
Yay.